Hey everybody, Dr. Terri DeNeui here, and I just have to make a comment on all the information that's going around regarding FDA Commissioner Marty Makari's just bold stance around changing and getting rid of these black box warnings on estrogen. Estradiol in not one single study has ever been shown to increase any breast cancer risk. There should not be a black box warning on these products. In the early 2000s, the Women's Health Initiative trial was the largest trial to date that focused on women's health. What they were looking to do is to prove that estrogen-based hormone therapy actually improved outcomes regarding cardiovascular disease. Clinicians had been using a commercial product called Premarin, which is conjugated equine estrogen, which just means it's a synthetic estrogen created from the urine of pregnant mares. But that was widely used. It was the first widely used hormone therapy available to women. In the mid-40s is when that was launched. And it was a great product for so many women. It just gave women their vitality back, postmenopausal women. It was wonderful. What doctors were seeing was that women that were on estrogen-based hormone therapies had a much lower rates of cardiovascular disease. And really, that was the initial point of the WHI, was to prove that estrogen-based products actually did protect the heart against heart disease. A secondary part of the trial that they were looking at is safety, as it concerned breast cancer and its impact on osteoporosis. But the primary thing they were looking at was cardiovascular disease prevention. Now, understand, the trial had two arms. It had the Premarin only arm, so the synthetic estrogen only arm, which women that had had hysterectomies were in that arm. And then it had another arm of the trial, which was the Prem-Pro arm, which was the Premarin plus Provera, which is a synthetic progestin, not to be confused with progesterone. And what happened was, about 4 years into the trial, the researchers were noting that the progestin arm of the trial, women had statistically significant increased rates of breast cancer. They also had statistically significant increased rates of Alzheimer's disease. And so they halted the trial early, really primarily because of the safety data that they were collecting around the progestin arm of the trial, which showed increased rates of breast cancer. Now, unfortunately, what happened is the media purported this mass misinformation that, oh my gosh, hormone therapies are bad, they're going to cause breast cancer, they're going to cause strokes, they're going to cause heart attacks, etc. And it was really just the synthetic progestin arm of the trial. But actually, the estrogen only arm of the trial protected women against breast cancer, against cardiovascular disease, against stroke, against Alzheimer's disease. The only negative part of that arm of the trial was the slight but statistically significant increased risk of blood clots in women that were taking that medication. So really what the study showed, and interestingly enough, and many doctors, many clinicians don't even know about the report that was released in JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, in 2020, the same authors came back and reported, after looking at the data for 20 years, that estrogen not only protected women against breast cancer, but against death from breast cancer. So I applaud the FDA Commissioner for bringing this to light, statistically speaking, 3 years sooner than what we typically see. So statistically speaking, it takes 8 to 13 years for the medical community to change a prescribing habit based on new data. So the 2020 JAMA study came out in the study that came out in 2020 that basically purported estrogen to be safe and efficacious and protect against breast cancer. Really, now we're in 2025, so we're a few years early, statistically speaking. So listen, ladies, stop being afraid of your hormones. Estrogen is a vital hormone as we age. Don't avoid it. Avoiding it can actually, as shown in studies, and I quote several studies in my book, increase the risk of not only breast cancer, but Alzheimer's disease, strokes, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, colon cancer, and the list goes on. They're safe, they're effective, and this is the beginning of beautiful things for women's health.